Hi. Welcome to the new show. This is All Things Dapper, courtesy and sponsored by Fantasy Sports Insight. Check them out, fsidfs.com. I'm here with Jason, or G-Dubs.
Nice to be here. Nice to join you here and finally meet you face to face.
Absolutely. I'm excited, and we're going to be talking about some things Dapper and start off the new show, and let's get it started.
Yeah, so, let's do this.
Let's talk about some all-day NFL, because I got it pulled up here on the screen, and you see some of the moments here. So did you get into any of the last redos for the season packs?
Yeah, so right now they're doing these replay packs where it's earlier moments from the season. They did I think it started with week 12 or week 13, which I believe included the Tom Brady all-day debut, which was highly sought after, and I struck out on that. I think I got a ridiculous pack where it was like Kyle Rudolph and a couple other not so exciting names. And then last week's, I think it was week 17 replay pack, I avoided because as I was looking on Twitter in terms of some of that analysis, I saw that it was going to be likely a negative EV pack. But overall, I mean, so far, I've been hitting on most of the packs that I've done that were still going during the season and everything too. My biggest pull to date so far, I do have a rare Joe Burrow from the I think it's the Super Wild Card weekend. It's his only rare on the platform right now. The current low cost of it is not anything to write home about right now, but I mean, it's a good series one moment to have, and I'm excited. He's an exciting player, and what we've seen so far about Dapper with the way that they have treated their products is they do create value, especially for some of their biggest stars. So curious to see what all comes out from it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people's perception on some of these resharing of something, and you can see here on the screen that I've already bought into a couple of them for 13, 14, and 17. I'm pretty sure I missed 15 and 16. And, from what I got feedback wise over at FSI's Discord channel, was a lot of people are very upset with it. And, it's not guaranteed, and it's not anything but a gamble in the most part. When you open those packs, you got a percentage, but it's a possibility you can hit something good. Just a little rehash on this. So I went all in on 17 for some reason when I didn't listen to you on the negative EV, and I should have. But the premium pack, we'll replay it real quick here just so you can kind of see what my disappointment looked like. So pretty sure we just dragged on to the commons right away. So Jacoby Myers, and the Patrick Mahomes. I wasn't complaining too much about that, even though it's a common. But it's looking at I think it's a $45 ceiling right now. So it's not too bad. Back some little bit of money there. And then we got a Chris Jones. So, and that's one of his sacks right here. Pretty nice. And then here is what they gifted me with as a rare. We got a Mike Williams, which isn't, it's not a horrible rare, but it wasn't what I was looking for. I was looking for something much better than a Mike Williams 3-digit serial number. But it wasn't horrible, wasn't great.
What's floor price on that right now?
Let's see. Mike Williams floor price is gonna be $48.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty
For
low.
a rare? Wow.
Yeah, and that's the kind of craziness that I think some of the people are looking at is these floor prices, but they're not taking into account that it's not where Top Shot is right now.
Right.
All NFL is got some time. They've got a lot of movement. I know they added a lot of people recently in the last couple weeks, and it looks like they're going to drop some more people in with the Week 18 redrop. And it's much like Top Shot. It's still in demo mode.
Right.
So
Right. I mean, and I think what's going to happen as it explodes a little bit more, and that user base, once it gets out of that closed beta, we're going to see people that sign up because they want to be there. And, natural fans of each of these teams I mean, Mike Williams, he just got a big contract today. He signed a 3-year, $60 million contract. I mean, that's a big deal. And he's a big name for the Chargers. I have a buddy, even though I live in Illinois, I got a buddy that's a big Chargers fan, and he's already been, scooping up some of those moments. But, the reality is at, $250 for these premium packs, the price point is just, it's, it's not where it needs to be. It seems like it needs to adjust a little bit more to this marketplace because I don't know. I- We have a series one product from All Day that
mm,
has more supply than Top Shot had.
right.
So you are giving us basically is something that's in between Top Shot Series One and Series Two, and the marketplace is not really putting the a significant amount of value on those rares. Those rares seem to be suffering the most.
Yeah, and I think that has to do with the lack of people. Like Top Shot. You look at the rares, and that's all we've got to go to judge it on. You're not judging it on DraftKings NFTs when they came out with those because it's totally different. Um, and you got nothing else to really judge it on because UFC is a rookie just like NFL. It's
Mhm.
their first year doing it, and we're going to see more and more of these. I think as it goes along, and Top Shot success shows them Dapper that they can do this, and they continue to do it. But I totally agree with you. The price point I think is way off. I think that if they lowered it, I think they'd have more people happier.
Right.
And I think that you look at the marketplace now, and it's a time to buy, and that's what you just got to look at it. That it's one of those like stocks. It's down. You got to buy it now. Hold on to it. Just keep it in your profile, and then move on. So, but I will show you. I think it's in this pack here. One of the best moments I ever pulled so far. Hopefully, it won't be the last pull I ever pull. Uh, we'll run through these real quick. We'll hit reveal all. Nope. Okay. So let me go right back. It's got to be the division or the championship one then. I couldn't remember off the top of my head. Should have looked it up beforehand. There it is. Patrick
Oh
Mahomes,
yeah.
for 8,500. So I put that bad boy on the market, and it'll just sit there. It'll sit there. A lot of people were asking ridiculous amounts of money for that single-digit moment, and I think
Sure.
you could take Patrick Mahomes and say he's the LeBron James right now, of the NFL, since now we've got a lot of people retired and moved on. So,
Yeah, I
uh,
mean, in terms of biggest movers in the all day marketplace, he's definitely in that top three so far. I believe it's Brady, Jamar Chase, Mahomes, and Burrow in that top four. So
yep.
those are the big guys that you want, and obviously there are plenty of big stars in the NFL. You got Aaron Rodgers with his big contract today.
Oh yeah.
You got Justin Herbert, another good young player and everything. So, I think the market will figure itself out. I think we will see a lot more of kind of like the what we expect to see from some of this market movement for sure.
Yeah, and I think I'm going to shift gears here and move on to Top Shot since we're talking about marketplace. It's a perfect opportunity. Let's talk about that market crash that occurred. What was last week, I believe. It really jolted a lot of people, and I think that a lot of people were not very happy. Market
Yeah,
drop.
to the point where they suspended their next drop. I mean, there was supposed to be a drop, the second, or I think it was actually maybe the third All-Star drop that they were supposed to have. I think it was last week on Thursday. It was supposed to include the new Fresh Threads commons also, and the just overall sentiment of the community was not great. So we were seeing a lot of $1 moments that were popping up, and people were dumping those series threes very, very fast, which, you know, I mean, there was definitely a serious oversupply that was happening.
Yeah, and it's interesting how, you know, our next topic that we'll talk about is the trade tickets. And then it's interesting how they oversupplied the 60K plus of season 3, and now they're kind of going back and saying that was a bad idea. And you know, you're starting to see, oh, so these trade tickets are actually a good idea. And luckily for me, during that market crash, I jumped in and grabbed and sniped a couple of dollar ones, picked up some $2 ones. And I think that the trade program is the newest, latest, greatest shiny coin. Look at the trades, look at the tickets, sell your things, get them down. And the idea behind it is to create better profit and remove more circulation. And I think a lot of people are still negative on that.
Right. It'll create some scarcity with some of those 60K moments, and you know, there will be people that are able to kind of decide what's valuable and what's not valuable to them through these packs that are coming out tomorrow and Thursday. Through their trade ticket system, I think I read something like there are going to be 500,000 moments taken out of circulation. That's a lot. That's a lot. And what's ironic about it, though, is that we already paid for those, you know, and those, so they're in a weird sense, Dapper is kind of double profiting. They're getting their money still, and they're having us burn that money in a sense. So, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I could see how there's still valid criticism there. And
that's where a lot of people are coming in and criticizing them for double dipping.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it basically, they shouldn't have created that oversupply in the first place.
Absolutely.
They should have pumped the brakes a little bit more and not been coming out so fast and furious with the way that they were doing these packs. I don't mind these loot box packs with NBA Top Shot, these elite versus standards, but kind of like with All Day, they got to give us some more wins. They got to give us, you know, a little bit more valuable, you know, packs here. So we have that, we could boost that sentiment overall in the community. Not everything's got to be a winner. It can't possibly be like that. But if you noticed in their stress test packs today, the percentages were a lot more favorable to getting better packs.
Yeah, I did notice the rare was much higher. Even legendary was a lot higher in the stress packs, and it looks like they did, as you saw from my pack that I got, it looks like they did release a fresh threads or automatically into it. So I don't know why that popped up, but I did pull the Fred VanVleet rare. So, you know, I thoroughly enjoyed the drop, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow's. I grabbed 350 trade tickets for last week's season 1 redrop, and I didn't make the cut. and I'm kind of glad I didn't because I had all this trade tickets available for this week. So
Right.
it is definitely something to keep in mind with them to see maybe are they going to continue to do this and over circulate, or are they just going to start cutting it down further, which I think they need to do.
Yeah, I think they're not getting the user growth that they really anticipated either. You know, there's a Twitter account that's really good to follow, Live Token,
Yep.
and he has a bot that basically reports like the weekly metrics for Top Shot. There were only 189 new users on Top Shot last week.
Oh wow,
That's not good. That's
that's
not
not.
good
Yeah, no, it's not.
for such a big product that is going to be so global. You need, a lot better user growth. So, we they don't. I don't think we got exactly what we should have expected in terms of the massive boom in marketing and everything for the beginning of this series 3. So the 60K moments probably shouldn't have gone up that much. It should have probably been like 50K.
Yep. Yep. I even would prefer it even further down, but I think it was season 2 was 35K was the usual, or 40K plus.
Right. Yeah, it started with 35.
Yeah, I think
Um,
the area that they were looking at, and that's where probably what they should have stayed with.
yeah. Yeah, until they had a little bit more of that demand, for sure.
So, Jason, tell me about these new challenges, because you were able to watch yesterday, I believe. The
Yeah,
wheel.
so yes, I mean the flash challenges have been around for a couple months now here. Um, and yesterday they tried something new. These flash challenges, the way that they first started out, they were pretty popular because if you already had some like the big moments that were already pretty scarce, you could see those prices really increase. And I mean, if you knew where like the bottlenecks were, you could easily kind of you could make a good quick buck trying to flip some of those moments. And I think that was a little bit too much of people's priority for these flash challenges. You saw some of these guys, some like the original Top Shot guys going out there and buying like 20, 30, 50 of a certain moment because they thought it was going to be valuable for this next coming flash challenge. Well, and just like with these trade tickets, Top Shot's experimenting a little bit. And one thing I'll give them absolute 100% credit for is that they listen a lot and they are constantly building and innovating. They have a pretty solid team of just innovators. And so yesterday they posted their announcement saying there was going to be a flash challenge called The Wheel. And there was a live stream at 4 o'clock Central Time where I forgot what her name was, but I think Abby Chin, I think.
Okay.
She got on a live stream with one of the other Top Shot guys that seems to be like in charge of the flash challenges. I think his name was Matt, and it was just a wheel with all the games, with different categories of stats to track, and then different types of moments that would be needed. So they spun it for each game, and then spun it for the stat. So say, for example, the Golden State Warriors game that was on yesterday, it was, I think they needed the most field goals. Well, obviously, if Steph Curry was in and if Jokic were playing, you got 2 big stars that are likely potential candidates. If you needed the Top Shot debut for one of those, well, then it's already a very expensive challenge, right?
Oh yeah.
Luckily, the wheel was kind and it said that we could use any moment for that particular game. So it still ended up being a difficult challenge to complete for a couple of reasons. In the Miami game, it was, it was the first player to reach 7 rebounds. And of all the players, it ended up being PJ Tucker, who, granted, he's an interesting, role player kind of person. I don't remember any time him ever getting to 7 rebounds before other like big name guys like, the Jimmy Butlers, the Bam Adebayos and everything like that. So it required a rare / legendary. Well, guess what? PJ Tucker has 1 rare on the whole platform, minted at only 299.
Oh,
So
wow, yeah.
that became a serious skyrocket where people that had him, they got snatched up and they started listing him for like over $1,000. Granted, it crashed a little bit down to like 600 something, but nobody wanted to get stuck with the PJ Tucker, metallic gold series 1 after this challenge. So the other silver lining though is that they've started putting in these cheat codes for these flash challenges too, where you could also complete the challenge with some other predefined moments. So for example, last night, the reward was the Kevin Durant fandom moment, and you could have done the cheat code with the Durant game recognized game reward and one of his rare moments, which they also increased in price, but in the grand scheme of things, it ended up being cheaper to do the cheat code than it was to do the actual veteran challenge that required all the wheel moments. And I mean, like I said, it was an experiment. I was intrigued by it. I like the fact that they're messing around,
Trying to show initiative and trying to listen more to the customers and trying to figure out what works best for them. How can they keep us interested in the product while at the same time still purchasing stuff left and right? So
right.
it's a difficult thing to do, especially with something like this. It's virtual NFTs.
Yeah, and I think they're trying as hard as they can to avoid super unnatural pumps of these moments. Like, I think they want it to just be a situation where if you collect it and you want to complete the challenge, you get the reward, So
I think it's helping the ratings a little bit too with the NBA, which helps
totally,
them.
totally. I tuned in at 4 o'clock yesterday to listen to that wheel. And literally, as I was watching it live, as soon as that Miami, like 7 rebounds, rare legendary hit, I watched that Bam Adebayo rare. It went from $179 to like $289 with like a snap of a finger. People watch and they buy. And then when we're watching the games, you see the market movements too. It's all over the place. It's fun to watch. But it could also lead to people getting pretty disillusioned if they lose big on some of those,
Much like the stock markets. The comparison between NFTs and stock markets are crazy. And I think that you have played cards right and you're still just having fun. It's a fun way to pass some time. And to see someone, and I really am shocked though that they didn't do more of, and we'll talk about this again on another episode, but more shocked that they didn't bring back a lot of the older moments. The Stoudemire and the Allen Iverson, they haven't pushed any more of those, and maybe they're just waiting for the season to be over to start that back up again. But I really hope they push forward, and maybe we'll see Michael Jordan out there with that Shaq, and maybe one day.
Yeah. That's one of the biggest challenges that Top Shot does have is that, they NBA, their agreement with the NBA's collective bargaining agreement does give NBA Top Shot the rights to current players. But once a player is retired, a large number of them, especially superstars, retain the rights to their highlights.
Mhm.
So Michael Jordan right now, he retains those rights to those highlights, I believe, and he's kind of like the gatekeeper. Now he is an investor in Top Shot too.
Right.
So it could come one day. There's no doubt about it. But
That'll
man, I mean,
be
the
reflection.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you could do a whole run it back series just with Jordan for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'll be something that I think a lot of people are looking forward to. Once Kevin Durant came on, I think everybody was excited and kind of had that novelty of like, all right, this is our big guy. This is going to be the marketing guru that's going to, really set us off to and send us straight to the moon. But we're still waiting. We're still waiting a little bit for that.
Well, that's fine. I mean, it gives us plenty to talk about. So we're going to bring this to a close, but I know that you and I had talked, and I know we're open to some guests to bring on the show. We're especially looking for a UFC expert that we want to bring onto the show, because you and I are by far not UFC experts by any means. So if we could bring someone on, if you're interested, put a comment in the video, reach out to us. We're on Discord. If you join the FSI server, it's on fsidfs.com. You can get on there and talk to us. Give us some just suggestions in the comments, even if you just want to hear something different or see something different. Maybe you hate my face. That's fine with me. Comment, man. Subscribe to us. Hit that like button, do what you got to do. But, I think this is going to be some fun. And I know that we've got a lot planned for the next coming episode. And we're going to talk a little bit too about the tools that you and I use and the different ways that we use them. Just the example for Moments Ranks, Live Token, and OTM. And we'll talk about how we use those tools and how to successfully manage through them, and decide to see the interesting facts, like you pointed out. The Top Shot only brought 200 and some people last week into the new fold. So
yeah. I mean, the UFC marketplace and kind of platform opened up right about the same time as All Day. I have yet to dabble because I'm not an expert by any means on UFC, but it's just another avenue that Dapper has opened up, another collectible market. And these are all kind of interlinked together, that we could all use our Dapper funds to, to be able to spend kind of across these different platforms. And then also La Liga is kind of gaining some traction. We don't know necessarily when that's going to open up and have pack drops, but they are doing another promotion right now where they're sending a group of people to El Clasico, the Barcelona versus Real Madrid matchup. It's coming up. So that's obviously a big deal. They're kind of stirring up their own fandom as well. And I actually took a survey about La Liga on Flow last week, where it's asking some of those targeted questions about their user base. And so it'll be interesting to see when that opens up too. So that's the name of the show, All Things Dapper. So we definitely want to be able to bring up and bring up all these different ideas and perspectives. So if anybody does want to join us and get into that conversation, we'd be happy to get those conversations going.
Perfect. Yep. And that'll wrap it up. And Jason, I appreciate you being on here with me, and we'll be pushing forward with this. And hopefully everybody enjoys the show and comes back to watch the next one.
All right. Thanks a lot, Paul.